Deadpool and Wolverine hits theaters this weekend. Is it yet another phoned-in sequel, or did they put in maximum effort? I'll tell you right now. This video is brought to you by Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/Dan for a special offer, and stay tuned after the review for more info. Hello everybody, I'm Dan Murrell here with my review for Deadpool and Wolverine. The review embargo has dropped, and so I'm sure you're seeing a flood of new reviews hitting your feeds and social media, etc. This is a spoiler-free review in that I am not addressing anything that hasn't already been revealed in the trailers, etc. for the film. As always, the caveat goes that if you want to go into the film completely blind, well, you probably shouldn't be watching reviews anyway. But I am not going to spoil anything that has not explicitly already been put in marketing materials. So let's jump into it. Deadpool and Wolverine, the first Deadpool movie since 2018, the only MCU movie that we're going to see this year, and the union, really, of the MCU and the Deadpool/Fox universe. As Deadpool has grown, the team behind the movie's also grown. We've gone from 2 writers on the first film, Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, to 3 on the second film with the addition of Ryan Reynolds, to 5 credited writers on this movie, Reese, Wernick, Reynolds, director Sean Levy, and Zeb Wells, a veteran of Robot Chicken, who also wrote an episode of She-Hulk for Marvel. Deadpool and Wolverine finds Deadpool, also known as Wade Wilson, at a transitional time in his life when he's recruited by the TVA for a special mission. And folks who haven't seen Loki, and particularly season 1 of Loki, will likely be pretty confused because there isn't much hand-holding when it comes to the TVA, multiple timelines, and all that stuff. When Deadpool discovers that his own timeline is in peril, he seeks out the help of Wolverine and finds a variant with his own emotional baggage. This isn't the Logan that we know, love, and have already said goodbye to, which allows us to rediscover some aspects of Wolverine with this new version, and also allows the film to have some fun with Logan's comic book history, as well as get him into that classic yellow and blue uniform. The trailers have been cagey about other details, so I won't talk about them either, but I will say that there are a lot of surprises in Deadpool and Wolverine. Some big, some small, some to a scale that I honestly wouldn't have even imagined that they could be in this movie, because I didn't think that they could or would be possibilities even. If what you're looking for is a fourth wall breaking, universe smashing, self-aware, self-referential Deadpool movie that delivers on all the potential of this now united Marvel and Fox universe, then that's exactly what this movie offers. The Easter egg hunters are going to have years worth of content dissecting every frame to find all of the hidden Easter eggs and references to past comics and movies, not to mention all the ones that aren't hidden. If what you're looking for is a funny movie, then I also don't think you're going to be disappointed because, as always, the humor is on point between Deadpool and the characters, and of course between Deadpool and the audience. If you thought that Ryan Reynolds and his team were going to take it easy on the MCU, including the slump that they've been in lately, well, then you don't know Mr. Poole very well. Not every joke hits. There was one running gag that I didn't find as funny as the screen time that was devoted to it, but I laughed a lot during Deadpool and Wolverine, and there is no drop-off when it comes to the funny moments. But, and I'm sure you probably suspected that there was a but coming, if you are looking for a streamlined story, if you're looking for something that shows a complete recovery for the MCU, that completely does away with the scattershot nature of some of their previous films, then Deadpool and Wolverine doesn't exactly deliver what I think you'll be looking for. This is a movie that is a collection of incredibly awesome, sometimes mind-blowing things inside of what I think is a pretty weak structure. The movie's trying to do a lot, and it feels like there wasn't enough focus on how to quite make it all work together, which leads to none of the main story points getting the care that they really deserve. Deadpool and Wolverine is trying to tell a Deadpool story, it's trying to tell a Wolverine story, and it's trying to serve as this synthesis and this introduction to Deadpool into the MCU, which would be a lot to ask of any movie. And keep in mind that the development process of this film openly was a difficult one. They worked on trying to crack the story. They had to change course when Hugh Jackman decided to come back. And let's not forget that this was also a strike movie, that it was interrupted in the middle of production. They had to leave, they had to come back. And it does feel like some of that chaos in the development and the production of the film made its way into the final product. It's a crowded movie, sometimes literally, and that works in the movie's favor sometimes, but it also works against it, including pushing the majority of the established Deadpool characters into the background in favor of Wolverine and the litany of cameos, which makes them feel superfluous in their own franchise. I also had a couple of issues with the actual direction of the movie. For example, most of the fight scenes are done in that Deadpool slow-mo style that we're used to, where we can really drink in what's happening, and that starts from pretty much the very first scene. However, there was one pivotal fight scene that was shot very shaky, and it was doubly frustrating for me because it was a scene where, as a fan, I wanted to drink in everything. It was one of those never again type moments where I wanted to really focus in on the characters, and it was frustrating to have to wait to find that one still frame inside of the shaky cam footage where I could make out what character was doing what or what each individual character was doing. That's not the majority of the fight scenes, but I did think at a pretty critical moment there was a poor decision in how they chose to shoot that specific scene. Having said that, when I say that there are awesome things in this movie, my jaw literally dropped more than once, and that's not me being hyperbolic. I try not to oversell or overhype things because I think that works against the movie if people go in with expectations that are a little bit too high. But this meets the full potential of bringing Deadpool into the MCU and the possibilities with the fact that he is one of these characters that can jump between worlds and do all of these different kinds of things. There have been lots of rumors about who might appear in this film. Some of those rumors are true, some of those rumors are not true, some of those rumors aren't what they appear to be. But it's all done out of a sense of fun, not just fan service, as I felt the cameos in Multiverse of Madness were. Everybody that's in this movie is having a great time, and it shows, and I think that fans of Marvel, not just the MCU, but Marvel in general, will lose their minds at a few of the things that are in this film. As far as who I can tell you is in the movie, well, we have Ryan Reynolds, obviously, who was born to play Deadpool in this non-X-Men Origins version. As always, he's hilarious, but also able to ground the character with a sense of humanity. It is largely fun in games, but Deadpool is playing for some really big stakes here, and we actually believe that because Ryan Reynolds isn't just out there throwing out quips, he's actually, acting. And because he's also in the title and on the poster, I think I'm pretty comfortable also saying that Hugh Jackman is back as Wolverine, and he proves why he is such a great actor. Yes, he has that Wolverine ferocity and intensity that we know, but he's also incredibly funny in this part because this is a different Wolverine than the one that we're familiar with. And because he's Logan, and Logan can never be happy, he's also haunted by his past, and Jackman doesn't shy away from that drama. I actually think that this is my second favorite performance from Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, behind his performance in Logan. And what I also appreciate about this is it's not a bait and switch. Deadpool and Wolverine is actually about Deadpool and Wolverine. Hugh Jackman is a true co-lead, and he appears throughout almost the entire film. Emma Corrin plays the movie's antagonist. I won't give away what character she's playing in case you don't know who it is. I will say that she is a villain in the finest tradition of the MCU, and that she is very good in a part that also feels very underdeveloped. Matthew Macfadyen plays Deadpool's contact at the TVA, a deliciously hateable worm of a man that Macfadyen obviously enjoyed playing. He's allowed to truly embrace that comic sensibility that simmered under the surface of Tom Wambsgans on Succession, and it's great that he gets to play a character that for once knows more about the universe than Deadpool does. And then there are the people that you don't know are in this movie, and I wouldn't dream of spoiling them. Honestly, I think if I spoiled even half of them, you would probably find my house and burn it down for spoiling it for you. I'm sure that those names are out there. Some of them are floating around on IMDb already. Do yourself a favor, shut out all the spoilers, don't go looking for it, because especially if you're a big Marvel MCU fan, you owe it to yourself to be surprised when these characters arrive on screen. There's a lot more I want to say, but I'm going to have to save it all for the spoiler review, so I'll wrap up by saying that Deadpool and Wolverine is the story of two characters, but it's also largely a story of two movies. There's the A+ use of humor and fan favorites in a way that both harnesses the love we have for these characters and uses them in a way that goes beyond empty cameos, and what I think is frankly a C-grade story that struggles to bring it all together. When I look at the movie, I do still see a lot of the struggles that the MCU has had in recent years, including this indecisiveness about where to put the focus of the film. But I also can't deny that I had a hell of a great time watching the movie, and I laughed a lot, and I just enjoyed the experience. I'll be interested to see what I think of the film as time passes and the surprise of what's in the movie and the novelty of the jokes begins to wear off, and maybe I'll be able to get a bit more of an idea of what that's going to be after I see the film a second time before my spoiler review, which is coming out on Friday. But as for right now, in my book, Deadpool and Wolverine gets a lot of things very right that allow me to put it comfortably in the it's good range, despite my issues with the story. And if you're not as hung up on story issues as I am, and I don't say that in a condescending way, I think you'll have even fewer overall issues with what is a very, very fun and entertaining movie. This isn't the cure-all for the MCU that many people, including myself, had hoped that it would be. It's not necessarily indicative that they are past the struggles that they've been having, but it is one hell of a Band-Aid, and it helps to bridge the gap between where we've been and what comes next. So those are my thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine. What do you think? Let's be honest, you were still going to go see it anyway, probably. Let me know down in the comments below. And before we go, I want to thank the sponsor for this review, Miracle Made. I don't know if you've noticed, but it is hot this summer. Arkansas has been getting a little bit of a break from the heat lately, but I don't have to be a meteorologist to know that that heat's going to be back any day now. But whether it's hot, cold, or just right outside, I know that I'll be sleeping comfortably in my Miracle Made sheets. Miracle Made sheets use silver-infused fabrics inspired by NASA that are temperature regulating so you can stay cool and sleep well, and you don't have to worry about changing them all the time because their silver infusion prevents up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, which leaves them fresh and odor-free 3 times longer than other sheets. With Miracle, you can sleep clean and comfortable all night, every night. Go to trymiracle.com/Dan to try Miracle Made sheets today, and whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo code Dan at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. Miracle's so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. Upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/Dan and use the code Dan to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/Dan to treat yourself. Thanks to Miracle Made for sponsoring this review, and thank you for watching. Be sure to stay tuned right here for more movie news, reviews. I'll be covering the opening of Deadpool on Charts with Dan next Monday. I'll also be talking about Deadpool and Wolverine even more in my spoiler review, which will be right here on the channel on Friday. Until then, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.